Hi there, Sabrina. So well done for submitting your last tasks. So let's have a look. So the diagram illustrates the ways, there are multiple ways, in which tea is made. This is a flow chart, not a flip chart. A flip chart is many pieces of paper that flip. This here should be a semicolon before namely. The flowchart differentiates the processes of 5 types of tea making. Like that, actually. Once again, overall the flowchart shows 4 different paths with various steps, each of them clearly defined. This might be a bit too much, but I mean it's correct, but we might be over-describing. All tea production starts with fresh tea leaves so I would do this. All tea production starts with sorting and cleaning fresh tea leaves and ends with the drying process. Scented tea, I would not use the definite there. Scented tea can be produced after green, black or oolong tea is already made. Good. For each type of tea, fresh leaves are sorted and cleaned. If the leaves are steamed and dried after cleaning, white tea is produced. However, if the tea is... I would say if the tea is then withered, it is possible to produce 3 further types of tea. Firstly, if the leaves are subsequently pan-fried, like that, maybe like that. Green tea is made, if the leaves are subsequently pan-fried, green tea is made after rolling the leaves or drying them. I would say can be made. Green tea can be made after rolling the leaves or drying them. I don't think these are necessary here, actually. In the green tea drying process, jasmine is also added. With oolong tea, the leaves get shaken, irregular verb, shaken or rolled in baskets to bruise the leaf edges before a short fermentation process starts. Afterwards, tea is pan-fried and dried. Black tea, however, is not pan-fried. And the fermentation process is longer than the one for oolong tea. The most steps are taken if scented tea is manufactured. Once green, black, or oolong tea is produced, flowers or fruits are added after a drying procedure. Finally, a cooling process rounds... we would say rounds off. So to round off something is to complete it, to finish it, to polish it. And I believe this should just be scented tea. So you've described the flowchart well, except for the fact that we got flowchart and flip chart confused. But I like the variety with which you explain it, the grammatical variety. It's very good. So, pollution. What are the causes? Some solutions. So, intro. As pollution in major cities increases significantly, governments... this is about governments relocating companies, not necessarily just pollution. So we can either say governments are forcing, or governments have been forcing. I prefer have been forcing. As in, this is something that has been happening, but it is still happening. Cool. Firstly, if companies and factories have to move to rural Rural ground would be okay, but it doesn't sound very natural, so I would stick to rural areas or rural zones. If companies and factories have to move to rural areas, the rising trend of air pollution in cities could be... do you mean reversed? Could be reversed, which would lead to a better quality of life for inhabitants. It is known that factories and companies contribute considerably to pollution crises and the declining air quality in cities because they produce a significantly large amount of greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide. So this sentence is a little bit long, but the commas were in the wrong place, so let's reposition them. So here as well, I would say either a significant amount or a large amount. So I'm just going to use large. They produce a large amount of greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide and are responsible for heavy traffic due to the transportation of goods and their workforce. Cool. For example, lorries transporting companies' goods drive through cities and cause traffic jams and contribute to a higher rate of polluted air. Maybe here we could just have an extra sentence that explains how it relates back to the question. So something like, in order to mitigate this problem, it is sensible for governments to ask companies to relocate. And we could talk about spreading the load, reducing the density of pollutants in cities by spreading them further out. Talking about the idea of concentration of density. Because the crux of it here, what's really happening, is that the concentration of people and businesses in major cities causes a high density of pollutants being released in the same space. If you spread that out slightly, it happens over a wider area, etc. Nevertheless, the relocation of companies to rural zones might also have negative impacts on the environment. For instance, untouched nature could be opened up to provide room for factories and storage. Untouched natural areas, maybe. Moreover, a significant number of trees could be chopped down for their infrastructure. It sounds like you mean the tree's infrastructure. So if we just say, could be chopped down for infrastructure, and various species could lose their habitat. Numerous studies have consistently found that an increasing number of insects are endangered because of factories that are built on rural ground. It feels more appropriate there. I'm going to leave that one alone. To summarise, I strongly believe that governments should try to reduce the issues of pollution in cities. And forcing companies to leave urbanised or to leave dense urban areas is the first step in the right direction. However, the state should also consider the wider implications of their policy and we already have a should here, so after the and we don't need another one. The state should also consider the wider implications of their policy and try to combat the risk that large areas of nature could vanish due to the relocation of factories. So the majority of your writing was correct. It just needed a few tweaks here and there. But I'm quite happy with the idea that you could get over a 7 in the exam based on this style of writing. Good, good. So I'll send this over to you now. All the best in your exam, Sabrina. If you do need any further help before then, feel free to drop us an email and I'll do anything I can for you. Have a great day. Bye-bye for now.